And welcome back to Flow's Sports Fix on this Monday evening. Some local netball coming up for you soon. We'll also talk basketball with Dan Crouch and Courtney coming up with her Sports Express. Right now it's the Flowman looking at local football and games that weren't and were played over the weekend.
Well, there wasn't any football played in the K&T on the weekend as a result of the COVID-19 restrictions in Victoria. It means that they've deleted out the round 7 matches and they will resume with round 8 matches and they'll be played this weekend on June the 5th, and that's going to be an interesting situation. The big one, Kingston play Padthaway as one of the matches of that round. As we head across to football in the mid-south east, and it was interesting because the Port Macdonald side came and visited Robe and they got up and beat them 16-7, 103 to beat Robe 12-9, 81. It's a huge win by Port Macdonald, and Robe have dropped the last couple of games against two of the other two very good sides in Kalangadoo and Port Macdonald, so they'll be disappointed about that at the Robe Roosters. In other senior football, Kalangadoo were way too good for Coongarong, 20 goals 16 to beat Coongarong 1 goal 5, so that is a 125 point margin, and just to allow a senior side the 1 goal for the afternoon, and a not too bad senior side. Coongarong aren't that bad, but the Kalangadoo side are just that good this year. Very, very talented outfit. It was a hard slog for Hatherleigh, but they got over the line against Mount Burr, 9-10-64 to 5-12-42. A good performance there by Hatherleigh, while in the final match, Tantanoola 23-20, too good for Nangwarry, 7 goals, 5. It is the two bottom sides though there, so you can see quite a big disparity between the Tantanoola side and Nangwarry, who are yet to trouble the scorers too much this year, but at least they got to 7 goals on this occasion. In matches played in the Mallee, and it was the game of the season so far as MFL TV covered it, and it was BDT 8-16-64. They beat Pinaroo 9-6-60, and that was at Canalpin, and what a win it was. It went right down to the wire. 2 late goals, 1 from each side. It could have been anybody's game, but in the end, BDT won at their home deck over Pinaroo, who were dealt one of their first losses of the season, so well done to BDT, and this is certainly shaping up to be a real rivalry this season. The other match that was played, Lameroo 15-16, 106 to beat Karoonda 8-50. And that's a really impressive performance by Lameroo. Karoonda are improving though, but certainly Lameroo right up there too with BDT and Pinaroo as the top sides. The bottom two sides didn't get to meet at Murrayville because of the COVID-19 restrictions, and so Peak and Murrayville were played as a draw, not played, but at least a drawn game and equal share of premiership points. Finally, we go to River Murray, and Ramblers 18-13-121 were too good for Maipalonga 10-6-66. It was an impressive performance by Ramblers, and Maipalonga now, I think, are the side, along with Meningie, that will miss finals. I think we can call that early out as we are, but a very impressive performance by Ramblers all the same to, I reckon, shore up their top 5. Talking about shoring it up, Taylor Men 15-8-98 to beat Manum 11-11-77. Manum led this game early at their home deck, but Taylor Ben came home strongly and are back on top of this table in the River Murray. So good performance from the Eagles. Manum, well, they might still be a 4th, 5th situation because Imperials are the other side that they're going to have to overcome in that top 3. Well, meanwhile, Jervois 15-14, 104 did what they had to do to beat Meningie 8-7-55, and that was down at the Lake Oval at Meningie. But Meningie have improved the last couple of weeks. They've got their first win against Maipalonga, and certainly against one of the league leaders in Jervois. They weren't disgraced by any means. So a impressive effort though. Jervois continuing at the top of the table with Taylor and Ben in this competition. It is a very good River Murray comp this year.
And it's only going to get better. That's the interesting thing. I was going to say scary thing, but no, that's the very interesting thing, isn't it? Well, there wasn't any football played in Victoria, but that hasn't stopped the leagues thinking about where they're going to be going forward. So where are the leagues at? The Flowman's going to give us some details.
With no football being played in the Hume game on the weekend due to a scheduled bye. Also, no football across Victoria. I thought today we'd have a look at where the leagues, the Sunraysia, the Wimmera, the North Central and the Horsham district are at in relation to what they'll do about the lost round of football over the weekend. So the Sunraysia Football and Netball League have said that they're holding a Zoom meeting on Tuesday night where they'll make a decision about how they'll move forward the outcomes for Sunraysia football. Remembering that there are no scheduled byes over the June long weekend or at any other time for Sunraysia. It's an 18-week competition. It's a 9-team competition. It means that across the season, everybody plays each other twice. That is 16 games and then 2 byes, 18 weeks. That means that it brings the competition for this season to finals starting in mid-August and then the grand final being September the 11th. One suspects that if they do want to have everyone continue to play each other twice for the whole season in the 18 rounds, then the only option would be to just delay each round from this week to this weekend that we've missed to be played next weekend. And then the grand final would be delayed, say, a week to September the 18th. It would be interesting to see what the Sunraysia board does come up with, but I reckon they might go with getting rid of the round and just playing it as a draw to all sides, and then it will be a same program for the rest of the year. But we'll see whether that is what's decided. Looking across at the Wimmera, and they've announced that it's a consensus amongst the clubs that they will move round 7 missed at the weekend to the 5th of June, and then round 8 that was scheduled for the 5th to the 12th of June. Effectively, they will play their extra round on the June long weekend and catch up their program. So just delaying this week to next week and so forth and using up the long weekend is what the Wimmera Football Netball have decided. Although, interestingly enough, over in the Horsham district, well, they've decided to play round 7 as the game over the June long weekend, which is Queen's birthday, and then they will play round 8 in its same place. So this weekend, round 8 will follow as normal, and what that would mean for those clubs that would be playing would be that the same games that would be scheduled for the round 8 will be exactly the ones that they play, and whereas the one that we missed on the weekend will be moved to the June long weekend. North Central have made no announcements, so we can only speculate. Their final series begin on August the 21st with their grand final scheduled for the 11th of September. But North Central's got the interesting thing that they do have 2 scheduled byes. One is the June long weekend, the other is the July long weekend. So it is a contingency where you'd reckon North Central may, in fact, delay their round 7 clashes that didn't occur over the weekend. Charlton and Birchip, they're playing then St Arnaud and Donald, Wedderburn and Bort, and Witcherproof Narraport taking on Sea Lake and Daly. That those matches would be delayed into one of those weekends that are available, or they might just delay the whole competition and play out to catch up either on the June long weekend or the July long weekend. That's yet to be determined. We have searched to see if there is anybody that's been able to come up with an answer to that. We haven't yet found that yet, so I'm sure that we'll get something to you soon on that particular situation. So that's what's happening with the contingencies that the leagues, the Sunraysia, North Central, Horsham District and Wimmera are making in relation at this point in time to the COVID-19 delays of their competition from the weekend.
And keep your ears tuned to Flow, as we'll give you more details as they come to hand. Once we know, we'll let you know. You can also check out through our socials, Flow Sports on Facebook or flownews24.com.au as well, and be listening out. Wayne will have more tomorrow, no doubt. And there'll be more talking about it as the week goes on and during the Flow Sports Show coming up this Friday. Well, on the weekend there were some local netball games that were played and some that weren't. We'll find out all the details with the Stat Man. Jace the Stat Man, he's up next.